Hey, how's it going? Kenny here, and welcome to the final ever episode of Non-League to Giants. And in this episode, I have gone forward 10 years after leaving Portsmouth. As you can see here, the date is now 1st of July 2048. So 10 years further from where I left off in the last episode. The last episode of the series there, or last games of the series, shall we say. Obviously, won the league title, which was great, the first league title of the series. But unfortunately, we lost the Champions League final. But we did finish off a great series with Portsmouth there. We won one league title. We won the Champions League once as well, the Europa League, 2 UEFA Super Cups, 3 Carabao Cups, an FA Cup, and a Club World Championship, and a Community Shield as well. So, yeah, we pretty much completed the set with Portsmouth. We won every single competition we could win, including League One and the Championship titles as well. The only one I failed to win was the Papa John's Trophy in that solitary season in League One there. So I've gone forward 10 years. I want to see how Portsmouth are getting on. Are they still one of the best teams in the world? Did they win any more Champions Leagues? Have they won any more league titles as well? Well, let's go check it out. Well, before we do that, I actually want to check out the players here. Is there any players left at Portsmouth? Well, I can see one already, Mamadou Lopez. He is the captain these days. He must be a very old goalkeeper. He's 37 years of age, but look at his goalkeeping attributes here. His one-on-ones got to 20 in the end, which is brilliant. 20 throwing as well. Goalkeeping, he's outstanding. Mentally, he's outstanding as well, to be fair. He's developed very nicely, has to be said. I wish he was this good when I was there. Physically, of course, he's going downhill. 151 caps for Portugal in the end as well for him. So he has a stellar career at Portsmouth, as you can see here. I signed him in 2032 for £30 million, and he has been the first choice goalkeeper ever since then. His lowest amount of games in a league season was 34. So, wow. What a player he's been for Portsmouth, Mamadou Lopez. Also, the vice-captain. He is a name that none of you will be familiar with if you did watch the series, of course. But Apostolos Liakos was actually my final signing with Portsmouth. I played another week or two in-game after I left off the last episode there. I wanted to sign another player to leave him off with. I wanted to go for a big hitter, but Liakos was 19 at the time. He was playing for Heerenveen, and he had all the big teams after him, so I decided to swoop in and sign him, and let's see how good he is now. Well, he's, I think it's safe to say he's a very, very good player, an outstanding player, shall we say. 111 caps for the Netherlands, and 4 goals as well. Star player, 400k a week. I signed him for £82 million just before I left the club, just before I resigned, and he's stayed at the club ever since then, so that is very nice, and he's looked like he's been a very, very good player for Portsmouth as well. So it seems like I left him off with a very, very solid signing in the end. Vice-captain these days, in the prime of his career, and he looks absolutely outstanding. What other players they got then? Well, the captain and the vice-captain are 2 of my signings. Lopez, of course, played with me for a long time anyway. The manager these days is David Simao. He took over in 2043, so 5 years he's been in charge now, Simao. So someone else obviously took charge before him. He was manager of Real Madrid, Juventus, before that Sheffield United as well, Portugal, Malaga and Rennes. Who's he? Well, he plays for Arouca in real life. I think that's in the Portuguese first division or second division. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, he's the manager of Portsmouth these days. Simao, what about the players then? Let's check out the players here. What familiar names can we see here? Let's go by age, shall we? Well, Lopez is still here, of course. Bruno is still here as well, 36 years of age. He got 87 caps and 45 goals for Brazil in the end. I think it's safe to say he's coming towards the end of his career. Doesn't look very good anymore, especially physically, of course. But how good was he for Portsmouth? Well, he's played lots of games for Portsmouth, has to be said. Lots and lots of games. 15 goals in the league in that 2043 season. Looked like he'd been a solid player for the club. So that is brilliant. Also, another couple of names here I noticed as well. Adelson is still here. A club legend as well. 102 caps for him for Brazil. He still looks definitely usable, that is for sure. But of course, he has declined. We've been getting older now as well. But what a player he must have been for them as well. Yeah, a few legends going here and there. A few legends. Wilger Arnold is still here as well. Another one of my signings. 33 years of age, an important player. Still looks like he's got a couple of seasons left in him, it has to be said. Again, another one, he's played lots and lots of games for the club, so that is fantastic. So there's 5 players remaining at the club from when I left off. So 5 players have been here for at least 10 seasons. Obviously, Liakos is the final signing, but the other ones, Arnold, Adelson, Bruno, Lopez, already had a couple of seasons with the club as it is, so yeah, that is very nice, the fact that they kept these players. And also, it's a good sign that they've kept these players, because a lot of these players were elite players in their prime, it has to be said. And they haven't left the club. So it looks like the club has still been doing very, very good. Check that out in a second. But yeah, really nice to see that. Really nice. Well, there's only one player at the club who's a star player, and that is Liakos, my final signing, of course. Arnold as well is an important player. I just want to check out this other guy here, Marcelo Herrera. He's another important player as well. How good is he? Well, he's a very good centre-back, has to be said. A very, very good centre-back. Argentinian, 49 caps already. How much they sign him for? Signed him for 98 million from Sheffield United. So clearly he has a lot of talent, as you can see there for yourself. So the team is looking very good. There's some other players I do want to check out, but we'll get to that in a second. I want to see how much money they've spent since I left the club. As you can see there, Liakos was my final signing. I also signed a couple of youngsters as well, such as Uskuplic there. Where did he go? He's at Leipzig nowadays. They sold him for 43.5 million back to, well, they signed him from AIK, sorry, and we sold him to AEK for 43.5 million. Where on earth they get that money from, by the way? AEK in Athens paying 43.5 million pounds for a player. Never seen such a thing. But anyway, he was one of my later signings as well. So was Usman Kanate. He plays for PSG these days. Didn't develop quite nicely, it has to be said, but sold him for 20.5 million. Sebastian Garcia as well, playing for Atlanta. So a few players there. What about players who left the club then? Next season, he spent 78 million pounds. Lars Niestrup was another one of my signings. He's playing for Bayern Munich these days. He's a pretty good player as well, so seems a little bit foolish they sold him, to be honest. Only sold him for 15.75 million as well, which is a little bit poo, it has to be said. Jake Davies signing from Newcastle, 29.5 million. He's now head of youth development. What are players who left the club after I left them? Well, Liic went to Real Sociedad for 28.5 million. He was back up to Lopez, so good that he did leave, really, for the sake of his career. Otherwise, he'd be back up to Lopez for the rest of his career. He's now playing for Barcelona as the first choice keeper. Played for Arsenal as well, Al Nassr, so he had a decent career. Aaron Trout went to Sevilla on loan as well. He's still playing for Sevilla. He was firm back up to Gunyo as well, but look at that. What a career he had at Sevilla. Oh, my word. Banging in the goals for fun for Sevilla there. Aaron Trout, look at those seasons there. 31, 31 and 29 goals. So he was fantastic for them. Grana went to QPR for 45.5 million. What a sale that was. Andy Booth left. A couple of months after I left the club, he went to Liverpool on loan, which is very, very bizarre. Very, very bizarre. He retired as a player now just last season. But yeah, that's a little bit of a weird sale, it has to be said. Andy Booth to go. But Arnold turned out to be the right back for the entire rest of the 10 seasons here. So Andy Booth makes a little bit more sense if you look at it like that. Some other players left, but not really anyone I really want to look into, to be honest. £123 million spent the next season. Kenny Hensley came in from Aston Villa. I know him because he scored against me a couple of times. He's now playing for Al Gharafa. And Abdi Darkan from Ajax. He's still playing for the club. He looks like a very good player as well. He looks very similar to Bruno, in my opinion, looking at him there. Bruno in his prime, of course, but yeah, looks like a good player. 23 goals in the league last season, 36 in all competitions, so decent signing there. Look at the players left, though. Andy Booth went to Liverpool, 65 million in the end. Aaron Trout went to 63 million to Sevilla in the end. Any other players here? Jack Jarvis went to Arsenal for just 24.5 million. Seems a little bit weird as well. He was a good player for us, Jack Jarvis. Oh dear, how sad is that? Acosta went to Real Madrid on a free transfer in 2040. He was a club legend, it has to be said, played at the club for many, many years. To lose him on a free transfer is just, yeah, very, very ridiculous in my opinion. Maybe they had some problems with a contract with Acosta, but he was a stern professional, Acosta. He was a model citizen, so I don't think he'd do such a thing. So the manager really messed up there in my opinion. Who else left the club? Kopic went to Tottenham for 51 million. El Idrissi left in the end. He went to Newcastle for just £9.5 million. Looked like he only did a little bit of games there for him. 23 games, and then he left. I haven't seen Gunyo or Magnaghi leave yet. Or Coric as well. £261 million spent in that season there. Bit funny that. They signed Ewan Ayton from Tottenham for £71 million. And then just 1 year later, less than a year later, they sold him to Arsenal for £79 million. So that is a bit bizarre. A lot of money spent in this season though. Fabio Ferreira signed for Benfica, rising up to 95 million. He's still playing for the club. He looks alright, but definitely not worth 95 million, that is for sure. Signed Mohamed Khan for 55 million as well from Bayern Munich. He's gone out to Real Madrid. Other players who left the club in this season, not really anyone of note, to be honest. No one of note. £230 million in total sales though. Stefano Oliani got £73 million for him. They spent £165 million. Any good players leave the club or I know about? No, so maybe Coric, Magnaghi and Gunyo retired at the club. I have to check it out in a second. What other players are there as well? Mohamed, where's he? Where's Neo Maka as well? Trabka, 57 million they got for him in the end, which is nice. He come for the youth system here, Trabka. Playing for Monaco as a squad player these days. As you see there, he came for the youth system. Got 57 million. Can't complain at that, can you? Can't complain at that. Yeah, I don't recognise any of these players' names, to be honest. Nope. £342 million spent in 2046. Oh my word, that's a lot of money. Lot of money, and just bought loads of players in that season. Seemed like quite a refresh that season. And what players left as well? Koric did leave. Koric left in 2045, as did Mohamed as well. Koric went to PSG for 15.5 million. He's now a head coach. He's unemployed. Yeah, he played lots of games for Portsmouth though. Had a great career at Portsmouth, has to be said, especially the early stage of his career there. As you can see, these early games here up until 2037, banging in the goals for fun. Gunyo took his place up front, and it looks like he never fully recovered, although he did get 20 league goals in 2044 and 14 goals in his final season as well. Did a season at PSG and a season at West Ham, so I think it's safe to say Koric went down as a Portsmouth legend as well. Mohamed as well must have been a Portsmouth legend. He's still playing. He's playing for Al Hilal. He was a good player for me as well. Played many seasons at Portsmouth as well, so he's a great player. Gunyo and Magnaghi, where are they? Still nowhere to be seen. 2047, they spent 102 million. So yeah, missing a few players here, and I need to go check it out, to be honest. Where is Magnaghi? Let's check out Magnaghi first of all. Magnaghi is now 40 years of age, and he's got the old man beard there, as you can see. He's got 122 caps for Italy in the end, though, and 47 goals. He's a great player. He did leave in the end. He left in 2046. I must have missed that. He left on a free transfer. He went to Valladolid in Spain. Little holiday for him to end his career, but it didn't go out too well, did it really? He had 50 games, no goals, 1 assist, so I think it's time that Magnaghi packed up his boots before then, to be honest. But played many seasons with Portsmouth in the end. At the time when I signed him, it was the record transfer for us, £96 million. But I think it's safe to say it was £96 million well spent. Over 10 seasons with the club he did, Magnaghi. So that is fantastic. Let's check out his compatriot, Gunyo, who was a new record signing after that for £260 million. Gunyo retired as a player 36. He actually retired at the club. What a legend that is. What a legend. Only retired last season as well. 307 appearances in total and 142 goals. Did he ever get to... well, we can't check, can we? We can't check. Oh, that's sad. I was going to say, did he ever get to 50 goals in a season? Of course, that final season there. He hit 49 in all competitions. He's only 1 goal short. If he would have scored in the Champions League final, he'd have got to 50. But I guess we'll never know. But the good news is he did retire at the club. Over 10 seasons with the club and scored 142 goals. So that is very, very nice. One more player I want to check, and that is Neo Maka. Did he retire at the club as well? He did retire at the club. 305 appearances for him in the end of the club. Over 12 seasons and 14 goals as well. He was one hell of a player for us as well. So that is enough about the players now. You've seen some of the legends there. Lots of legends, actually. Loads of legends for Portsmouth there. At least 7 or 8 legends that I left the team off with. So that is absolutely brilliant, it has to be said. Really, really brilliant. Let's go check to see then what other competitions did they win. Let's go see if they won the league title any more times after I left. Well, I can tell you that it's been a Portsmouth domination in the Premier League. I left off with 1 league title from in 2038, and that sparked a 5-season winning streak, as you can see there. They won the next 4 league titles after I left. Man City won the next 2 after that, but then again, they won it again. Then Man United, then Portsmouth again, and then just this season gone, Liverpool. So I think it's safe to say they are firmly the biggest club in England right now. Well, I wouldn't say firmly, but 5 in a row there. They won 6, 7. They won 7 out of 10 league titles. So that is pure domination, it has to be said. But it looks like it's a little bit more sporadic now. But they did only win the league title just 2 seasons ago. Let's go check out their points tally then. Because in my final season, 2038, as you can see here, we won the league title with the least amount of points ever from a Premier League champion with 82 points there. The next season they won it. Well, they beat my record next season with 78 points there. So, wow, that's very low. Very low. I thought 82 points was low, but look how tight the league title was there. Oh my word, what a title race. But Portsmouth came out on top. 78 points there. The next season, only 80 points. So I guess my 82 points tally wasn't so bad after all. The season after that, they did finally beat my record with 85 points. 75 points. 75 points. Won in the league title in 2042. Wow. Season after that, the season after that, they finished second with 78 points. Then they finished third with 77. They won the league title again. This was their best season, it has to be said, with 91 points there in that season. 28 wins, 7 draws, and only 3 defeats in that season. So that was great. 2045. The next season, they finished 4th, so the lowest of the season so far there. 85 points in 2047. And this season just gone, they finished second, 5 points behind Liverpool. So I think it's safe to say they are still one of the biggest clubs in England. Probably the biggest club, it has to be said. They're favourites for the league title this season. Only got one player, two players in the... look at that, Matthew Thurgood as well. Do you remember him? If you watch the series, you might remember him. Came from my youth system. He's now playing for Newcastle these days. 101 caps for England and 34 goals. Oh, he looks quite good as well, doesn't he? Should never have let him go for £40 million. Yeah, it's a bit sickening, isn't it? A bit sickening. He should be a Portsmouth legend, has to be said, but instead he's a Newcastle legend. He's born in the city of Portsmouth. He's a Portsmouth fan as well. Should never have sold Thurgood, should I? But anyway, they did quite well without him. Abdi Durkan and Stafford are the only two Portsmouth players in the media Dream 11 there. Also, let's check out the Champions League, of course. How many more Champions League wins did they get? Did they win any more? I won one and lost one Champions League final as well. Let's go check it out. Where is it? There it is, the UEFA Champions League. They did. They won it in 2042. They won it in 2042. Hasn't been quite a European domination, though, it has to be said. Bayern Munich have been the best team in Europe in recent times with four Champions League wins in 6 seasons there. But Portsmouth have won 2 in the last 13 seasons. Also got to a Champions League final where we lost as well. Any more Champions League finals? Well, they did. In 2047, they lost to Leipzig in the final. So, revenge for Leipzig there, because I beat them in the 2035 final. So, they took them 12 years, but they finally got revenge against us. And in the final in 2042, they beat Man City. So, 4 Champions League finals with Portsmouth. 1 win, 1 runner-up for me. And the other managers, 1 win and 1 runner-up as well. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say they're doing quite well in the Champions League. What about the Europa League then? Don't think they should have fell in the Europa League, to be honest. No, nothing in terms of the Europa League here. Of course, I won in 2034, beating Wolfsburg in the final there. But it's different rules these days. Going to Champions League, you don't fall out into the Europa League. So, obviously, they finish in the top 4 every single season. So, only Champions League football for Portsmouth. What about the UEFA Super Cup then? Let's check that one out. Not that it is too important, but it would be nice to see. They won the UEFA Super Cup again. I won 2 of those. They won one in 2043. And that is it. So they won another UEFA Super Cup. What about the Club World Championship? Any more Club World Championship wins? No, just the 2037, the one I won. 2041, Bayern Munich won it. 2045, Man City won it. To get to the final, though? No, didn't get to the final or even 3rd place as well. So, Club World Championship, didn't win any more of them. What about the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup then? Well, the FA Cup, they just won it this year, gone 2048. They also won it in 2044 as well. I only won it once in my tenure. I also lost 1 FA Cup final as well. They lost the FA Cup final in 2041. So, yeah, doing really well, Portsmouth, it seems, in the competitions. Carabao Cup, won that in 2047 and 2041 and 2040 as well. So, I won 3 in total. They won another 3 since I left as well and got to another final. So, the Carabao Cup, we really like that competition. It's funny now, we've actually won more league titles than Carabao Cups, which is very interesting. But Carabao Cups is still a favourite of ours as well. What about the Community Shield? Won that many times as well, as you can see there. Also, one thing I want to check is about this Ballon d'Or, because I think that Gunjo had a chance to win the Ballon d'Or after I left with his 49 goals in that season. Where do I find it? Where are the award winners? There they are. Gunjo did win the Ballon d'Or in that season in 2038, so a bit devastating I didn't see him win it with us at the club, but he did win it in my season with 54 goals, 54 appearances, 49 goals and 11 assists, so that is brilliant. Also, Liakos, the player, the final signing I left Portsmouth with, he won it in 2044 as well. 59 games, 10 goals, 24 assists. What a player he must have been. Any other players getting the top 3 though, but it's nice to see 2 different players win the Ballon d'Or for Portsmouth. No one in that season. No one in that season either. Well, Liakos came 3rd the season after that as well. Matthew Thurgood. Oh my word. A player who come from the youth system, of course. He won the Ballon d'Or in 2046. Why did I sell him? Yeah, I definitely regret selling Thurgood. But as I said, they did well without him, so it's fine. And in this final season just gone, no Portsmouth players. But I guess you can say we have 3 Portsmouth players, because 2 players who played for us, Gunjo and Liakos, and a player I developed and sold, Matthew Thurgood, won it as well. But officially, I'm not going to count Thurgood as winning the Ballon d'Or for Portsmouth, because of course he didn't. He won it for Newcastle. One more thing I want to check, and that is, who was the manager after I left then? Wow. The manager after I left was actually Mikel Arteta. He was manager for 3 years and 335 days. He did pretty well for the club, though, it has to be said. He left the manager role, he wasn't sacked. He won 4 league titles and he won 5 cups as well. He won the Champions League, he won the Community Shield, the Carabao Cup twice, the Community Shield twice in total actually. The only one he failed to win, it seems, is the FA Cup. So I think it's safe to say he did quite well. He did better than me, didn't he? I won, 13 trophies in 12 seasons, and he won 9 in just 3 seasons. Well, technically 4 seasons. Mine was 13 as well, to be fair. So yeah, I think it's safe to say Arteta did very well. Couldn't win the FA Cup or the Club World Championship or the UEFA Super Cup or the Europa League, but what he did win, 4 league titles. Yeah, I think we'd take his record, to be honest. He did rather good for the club. Pochettino as well, he was manager after that for a season. He was sacked, but he did win 2 cups in 1 season. He won the UEFA Super Cup and the Community Shield, but yeah, he won 2 cups at the start of the season, 2 almost meaningless cups. But after that, David Simeone, the manager these days, he's manager of 5 years. He's had 2 league titles and he's won 5 cups as well, which is the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, Community Shield twice. Well, the FA Cup twice, the Community Shield twice, and the Carabao Cup. So he's doing the business domestically somehow, but he's yet to reach the heights of Arteta or FM Challenger in terms of winning in Europe. Pochettino as well didn't win much of the club, but Arteta, well, I think you'd say that FM Challenger was the most iconic manager for the club, has to be said. But in terms of the record, you'd say Arteta was the best, to be honest. He definitely trumped me. 4 league titles. I left the foundations for him now, of course, didn't I? I left the foundations for him, but he won 4 league titles in a row, and he also won 5 cups in that in his 4 seasons as well, which included the Champions League. So he did pretty well, it has to be said. Arteta. One last team I want to check out before we leave non-League Giants, and that is Dover, of course. For those of you who don't know, if those of you who didn't watch from the start, I started off with Dover. I did 3 seasons with them, won the Vanarama South, Vanarama National, and League 2 before leaving them for Portsmouth. How are they doing now? They're in League 2 still. That's nice. Well, when I left off, they were a firm League 2 club. Finished 12th in 2013. They actually went back up to League 1, which was nice. Finished in 2nd, but relegated straight away. And now they're just a firm League 2 club, it has to be said. They're basically like the new Rochdale, aren't they? Rochdale are in League 2 for like 20 seasons in a row, I believe. So that is basically what Dover are these days. They were disappointed they can't get up further than League 2. But also you can look at the other way, though. Dover, when I took over, were a 6th tier team. And now they are a firm Football League team. And since I took them up to the Football League, they have never dropped out of it again. So I guess you can say that is quite nice. Although they're in trouble this season. Media prediction is 23rd. And they've rid their luck a couple of times, it has to be said, finishing towards the bottom of the league table there. But the 2 clubs I took over at the start of the series are still doing quite well in their respective leagues. Dover, as I said, are a Football League team now, which is pretty good for the club, it has to be said. And Portsmouth are still one of the biggest teams in the world. Let's check out their reputation before I leave, actually, Portsmouth. I'm pretty sure they must be a 5-star team. Yeah, as you can see there, they're a joint 5-star team with Man United and Liverpool in the Premier League. So they are one of 3 biggest clubs in the Premier League these days. Bigger than Man City, bigger than Arsenal, bigger than Chelsea, and bigger than Tottenham. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how they've done after that. I'm a little bit disappointed that Arteta just made a mockery out of me by winning 4 league titles in a row and a Champions League. But all in all, the club has done really, really well, and it's nice to see them continue to flourish as well. And to be honest, if I went forward another 10 seasons, they'd probably still be doing a similar thing as well, because they're a 5-star reputation team. They got some massive players at the club, and they keep winning competitions. Anyway, guys, that is the end of this series, and also end of the FN23 content from myself. Of course, FN24 is only around the corner now, about a week and a half away, I'd say. So I'm not making any more videos now for FN23, but I'll be back with a bang at the start of FN24, so make sure you look out for that. Thanks again for watching this video, guys. Please remember that if you do like this video, hit that like button for me, and also if you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button as well. It'd really help me out, and much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.